Hello, it's car talk time. What do I have to talk about? Nothing in particular. Uh, yeah, I got up this morning, I walked the dogs, walked the dogs, let them out loose in the backyard. Then I sat down and, actually, what I will do right now, it's not car talk, it's stoner talk, even though I don't have stoner with me at the moment. So I won't be reading copious quotes from Stoner. This is chapter 15. Oh man. So yeah, Stoner sort of has established himself as a bit of a legend in the community that he defeated Hollis Lomax. And you sort of get from the tone of the rumors that are going around that Lomax himself isn't particularly held in great esteem. So the stories do seem to kind of mostly favor Stoner in his stuff. I guess the bigger development that happens here is, yes, we were getting the onset of World War II. It happens in the context of Stoner's daughter, Grace, getting pregnant out of wedlock with a sophomore student. Is it Eddie or Edward Fry? Who he doesn't particularly remember from Stoner taught him in a sophomore English class, which, not surprising. Big classes, bunch of sophomores. You never would remember any of these people, these students. Edith does her usual thing of, like, Stoner comes home and he hears a scream after a moment coming to the thing, and it's Edith, and Edith is screaming, having the word, unfortunately, maybe it fits, and it fits to John Williams' discredit, is hysterical. And Stoner sort of basically tells her to calm down, go off. And he talks to Grace, and it's like, well, okay, these things happen. We'll stand by you, whatever you want to do. And Grace does that thing that she's been doing for the last while, which is like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter what happens. Kind of like, which is disquieting in itself, and a real damning thing about how Stoner and Edith have raised Grace, have shaped this young woman. So they get married. They get married in a very kind of quiet thing. They finish off. What they do is they finish off the semester. They're going to take a couple of years off school. They're going to go live in St. Louis, where his family is, where his father's a broker and fairly okay off. So they go off and they get married in the context of World War II being kind of like, the Americans are going into it. They go off there. He ends up going off to fight in the war and is killed a couple of months later on a Pacific island that they as raw recruits were kind of smooshed up against and then killed. Grace declines to come back to Columbia, but decides to stay on in St. Louis. She's got a pension from Eddie, and is happy with her parents-in-law. And Edith is the one who, of course, goes out and sees her and says, "Oh, you should come back." And she says, "Nope, I'm not going to." And Edith kind of mentions, it's like, "Oh, she seems, quite changed by the experience." And Stoner can only reflect on the solemn, kind of loving little girl that he remembers, sitting with him in his study when she was young, and how that little girl seems to have been killed off. And indeed, it does seem to be killed off. Definitely feeling kind of a little bit of an ebb of the intensity of the earlier parts of Stnr. Um, Starting off with sort of his tussles with Lomax. Um, yeah, his tussles with Lomax. Basically, his after the affair, it's like he kind of went, I don't give a fuck anymore, and it's kind of reduced his suffering, but it's also kind of reduced the intensity of the novel for me in a way. So still really enjoying it. This chapter seems like it's definitely a novel that seems to have these chapters of like we have a kind of a after effects kind of a lull chapter, and then we ramp up, and then after effects, and then a thing up. It definitely has a rise and fall to it, which seems to be the kind of the rhythm of Stnr. So yes, I'll continue on with it's probably chapter 16 tomorrow, and continue on with the book. Yeah. All right. More videos later.